Welcome back. This time I'm going to be working on the camp prior to second bull run. This one's going to be a little bit longer again because we have a lot of shuffling around to do to get 2 cores set up. So the first thing is I need AO9 so that I can bring 24 brigades in the defense of Stony Ridge. You could do it with less, but I want to be able to bring a lot of artillery and a lot of snipers with me. So, want as many as I can get. So, I'm going to be maxing these guys out. These guys are in good shape. So my core setup here that I'm going to want is I want 6 2-star brigades, 6 1-star, and then I think I'm bringing 8 artillery units. And then I'm going to have 1 token cavalry unit that is basically going to be running around catching supply wagons the entire battle. It's a pretty dangerous job, so it's going to get beat up a little bit doing that, but okay, the other thing I should do is I should actually set up my best core as either 2nd or 3rd core. There's I'll call it a bug in the game where the non-primary corps commanders have a larger radius, and since my Lieutenant General currently has a cover bonus, I might as well get him on the best one I can. So we'll just do some quick swapping. Sure, we'll leave Longstreet in charge. Give him some perks. Might switch him out, not sure yet. Okay, so that means we need all these units over here. Wait, I want you down here. Okay, let's start getting stuff set up. So my first 2 cores are going to have 2 2-stars and 1 1-star. Let's see, what are these units actually? It's probably a 2-star. Let's go find a better officer. Yeah, you're not going to hit 2-star. And might have too many 2-stars in here, or I might drop the star on this guy. Not sure yet. Okay, you're a 2-star as well. Go find you a better officer, though. Gonna have to do some more swapping around, but this will get us started. Get these swapped back over to 24-pounders. So what I usually do for my main cores is I'll have 2 artillery units, a sniper unit, and then 3 infantry units in a division. I'll usually bring 1 24-pounder and 1 either long range. Like in this case, it'll probably be Tredigars. If I have them, it'll be 20-pounders. And that gives me a little more flexibility when you get weird deployments to be able to adapt. That way, if you get some sort of deployment where you don't get the units you expect, then you have a good mixture of units so that you can get them around. I thought I had another Tredegar unit lying around somewhere, but I'm not seeing him. There's one, but you're only 7. We'll use you. Swap you out. And again, I'm going to stick with the cover and stealth. I think it's going to be a problem later in the campaign where I'm often outranged by the Union guns. Otherwise, certainly if you're the Union, you can probably get away with taking the firearms accuracy, or if you like bringing units in close, then the reload is good, but I don't play that way, so it's not very beneficial to me. So we got that. I want to have, I think it's 3 24-pounders in the first corps. Let's see, I'm going to want to bring these over. Because basically I'll want 2 in the north and then 1 sort of in the south middle to give myself some coverage depending on where the AI ends up going. Oops, someone in charge of the division. I think I'm going to need this last slot, or I guess I have one more, but I'm going to have 1 slot that's the cheap Dragoon unit. Okay, start topping these off, and then hopefully I'll remember what the next step is that I want to do. So I have enough 20-pounders to get a unit up. So I'm going to utilize this unit because it's small enough that I can change the weapons. And then after this battle, I think I should have enough to get them back up to 8, but even with 6, they should do pretty well. Okay, so that's the cavalry unit. What do we got for infantry? 1, 2, 3, 6. We're short some infantry. Putting in a higher level officer so I can hopefully keep the 2nd star. I think if I can keep it, I want to upgrade all my 2-star units to Harper's Ferries. I think the rest is just going to be infantry because I have 3, 5, 6. I don't remember what I was doing with the exact last slot, but alright, let's just get some of these guys updated. Oh wait, do not need a major general in charge of you.
Yes, sir.
Move him up here.
Sir, yes, sir.
Good. I'll take care of our efficiency.
Yes, sir.
The 1100's a little arbitrary. I don't think I'm actually going to get close to scaling. But it's a nice average unit size for what I need.
Yes, sir.
Gives me enough firepower, but doesn't go too larger than I really need. Doesn't give me extra men that I don't need to field. again, going about 5,000 in terms of money spent on veterans. You can go higher or lower depending on how your money situation is. Mine's in pretty decent shape. We're going to end up using all of it, but that should be fine. In some ways, we actually want to zero that out because this is a multi-day battle, and you get charged for refilling your supply wagons. So if you have no money, then you don't get charged. So might as well invest the money in something else. Okay, it's those two. Let's grab some more infantry that's in decent shape. So I want a mixture in my first, like, one option you could do is you could just put all of your absolute best units in this corps. This is the one that's going to be doing most of the fighting. But I like to have a couple of newer units mixed in here, and I will try and have those be the ones that take more of the casualties. 2-star unit, taking casualties on 2-star units is always expensive, so if we can avoid that, it's all the better. See, do I have the right ratio? 3, 6, 9, 12. Okay, so I have sort of went through a temp run and seeing how I was going to set things up, and I think I had one more artillery unit, maybe? Did I bring another sniper? I don't remember exactly. There's a couple of different, like, the setup here is a little variable. Having an extra infantry unit is fine. It makes it a little easier to cover the area if you, like, I'm running on pretty much the bare minimum of what you need to defend the ridge. So,
Sir, yes, sir.
bringing an extra infantry unit is not a big deal. Swap you out so we can try not to buy more veterans. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We have an extra. Probably move him somewhere else.
Sir, yes, sir.
Or maybe I'll just bring an extra 2-star. Not sure yet. Our second corps is going to be mostly new units. It's the one that's going to be doing the large flanking maneuver. But where they'll be fighting for less time, but they're going to be fighting in the open, so they're not units that I usually want to put my best units in those positions. So that's why I'll be using newer ones for that. Let's see, what do I have left? Do I want to swap anything else in? I don't want to bring cavalry. Bring another artillery unit, but I don't think I need it. You can go away, we're not using you anymore. Yeah, I think I'm just going to go with the extra infantry unit. It'll just simplify things a little bit, so. Upgrade weapons for you. Actually, how good are you? Alright. Do you have Harper's Ferries? necessarily want to buy more Lorenzes, so we'll swap out. So we have some free Harper's Ferries. I think there's a 2-star unit back here. Maybe they'd get them. I'll hold on to them for now. I'll give these guys Springfields. They're almost as good as a Harper's Ferry. You can do something with the officer at some point.
Sir, yes,
I might buy some more. I'll deal with the officers later. Get the units set up, and then we can deal with that.
Yes, sir.
So I could make this guy a little larger, but I only have 7 24-pounders left, so I think I'm gonna... Oh, I think that's what I did. I think instead of bringing this extra infantry unit, I think I brought another unit of 24-pounders. Because that lets me put 2 in the north, 1 in the middle, and then 1 in the to the extreme right flank. Debatable if I want infantry or not. I think I'm going to move him out, and I'll bring another 24-pounder unit. Their stats are basically the same. It'll work.
Yes, sir.
Alright, and we're going to create a cavalry unit here. I'm not exactly sure what... So, theoretically, if I was building a dragoon unit, I would prefer to use Enfields. But I'd have to buy them, and this unit's going to get torn up pretty badly, so I'm probably just going to end up using these Smiths since they're free. But I'll worry about that at the end. Okay, so we got our primary corps ready. Sure, let's do a quick officer pass. Okay, I'm going to swap out the general here because I want him to hit Lieutenant General at the end of this battle, and the 24-pounders are going to probably get reliably more kills. Hard to say in this battle because you spend a lot of time doing standoff fire, but yeah, same thing with Jackson. I don't think we'll get him all the way up to Lieutenant General, but we'll work on it. Alright, excellent. So this corps is basically ready except for that cavalry unit, which we'll create later. Actually, we might as well move our Major General here.
Yes, sir.
I guess he doesn't have an aura, it doesn't matter, but might as well get the larger radius. This third corps really isn't going to have anything in it. It's just I'm going to have a few extra divisions left over, so I'll create some units there just to gain some experience, but that's it. So the second corps that's going to come in, your units in the first 2 divisions are the ones that come in first. I don't think I actually want artillery in there. So I want to get in some snipers, some more infantry, and some cavalry. That's what I want to come in here. But let's get the other divisions over here. And transfer all the units over. So one sniper, one cavalry. We'll put a second cavalry in there. You're slightly less expensive to build up.
Yes, sir.
Putting a general in so I can see if I can keep the second star. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to. We'll buy a little bit extra just to keep it. If we upgrade you, we'll get a second star. Out of Harper's Ferries though, but you can get Springfields.
Sir, yes, sir.
Oh, but we're right on the edge. Okay, I'm not gonna try and do that. That'd be pretty expensive and just not worth
Sir,
it.
yes, sir.
I could probably be going a little bit lower on veterans for these units,
Yes, sir.
but you get a lot for fairly cheap, so it's fine. Okay, we're almost out of Enfields. Worry about this in a little bit. No rifles that I'm going to use, so.
Form line.
Don't really want to buy more rifles if I can avoid it. We've got more of other stuff, so we'll use these.
Yes, sir.
Alright, got our infantry. Gonna hold off on you. We'll see if we can max out supply. It'll depend. Actually, before we do that, let's check. Is there any more artillery? Okay, we're gonna buy these. The rest we don't care about. Don't care about anything in there. We want these. The Whitworths is debatable because I want to start. Honestly, I want to start phasing these out for all scoped Whitworths when I can. And I already have 4 sniper units in progress, and I'm not sure if I'm going to build too many more. You could maybe go up to like 5 or 6, but you're starting to get to the point where I mean, you're not going to deploy, in most battles, you're not going to deploy more than 2 to 3. In grand battles, you can deploy more, but you start to run out of spots to realistically get them places. Um, Also, it's every unit you add is just more micromanagement and another unit you have to pay attention to that's really fragile, so I'll probably end up stopping around 4 units. So, all that said, I don't think I'm going to keep buying these. You're going to get another, like 2 to 300 are going to be available for the rest of the war, so if I need them, I can buy them, but I don't think I'm going to probably get any more of them. So we have artillery units, cavalry. So for the third option for these, there's a little bit of a choice. I'm going to go with more charge damage just to completely maximize how much front impact damage I do when I hit a unit. Mounted infantry is actually a decent choice. It makes you're mostly for the cover. Everything else doesn't really matter, but that cover bonus will save you some casualties here or there, and it's actually even pretty useful even in melee. But I want that upfront damage. And I'm holding off on upgrading these because I'm not sure exactly how much money I'm going to have left, so these could just go to 300 and be fine, or I might go a little higher. Okay, so now I think I'm just fleshing out with extra artillery and extra infantry. Let's look at this for now. So we've got a couple of different options here. More Tredigars are okay, but we don't need them. The Weirds are pretty good, but we never get any more. I'm probably going to buy them, and I'm going to set up a unit with them. They're not going to see a ton of use. This is very easily skippable if you're not worried about it. I'm going to grab the Fayettevilles just from their cell power later on. The Lamottes are good, but they're very expensive to upkeep, and their bonuses aren't that much better. Like, honestly, I'll take a quick look at it. The problem with the saber weapons in this game is that technically there's almost no reason to ever use anything other than the palmetto. It has really high damage, and its accuracy lows and highs are the same as all of the other saber weapons. So, like, all you're really getting if you go to these newer models is higher fire rate, and with the short range, like, you could, I guess, with these you can cycle charge a little bit faster, where you just run in, stop, fire, and then run out. But it's so much attention to one unit for not a whole lot of gain that it's just not really worthwhile. And while this high melee value is really good, like, it's $84. Like right now, it's $84 for a single weapon versus 27 or 36. Like, you're doubling your price for what, a 25-30% damage increase is just not efficient. So honestly, like, the only reason I'm using these is because I've captured them. Like, if I really had to buy every single melee cavalry weapon I used, I would probably just use palmettos for the entire game. Like, stat-wise, they're just efficient enough. And well, I think there are slightly different damage curves for these. I haven't looked at it in a very long time. You could find it on the forums if you're interested, but I'm pretty sure that the damage curves are so close that it doesn't matter. Also, you're using them at range 75 or less, so there's not a whole lot of space for a curve to matter. So anyways, let that breathe aside. Let's set up some more. Actually, what do we have in the barracks right now? Not a lot. Alright, so time to go officer fishing. Okay, both of these guys could, I think, could survive on a lieutenant colonel. swap these out. I'm not really a fan of... If I can avoid keeping generals on infantry units, I tend to stay alive longer that way. Okay, great.
Sir, yes, sir!
That's complete overkill, but put the major on you. And again, this isn't super necessary. I'm just going to make sure I have some free units to... I guess that's the other option, is I could just be putting, like, I think lieutenant colonel... My recruits are good enough. I could actually be putting lieutenant colonels on the new units instead of these slightly better officers, but it should be alright. Actually, can we get you up a little higher?
Form line!
Probably good enough. Actually, better idea. There we go. That gets me a little closer. I could do some more swapping to get the efficient command all the way up, but I don't care enough about the cavalry. So if I could go searching around for officers and swap around and get this maxed out, but it doesn't matter enough to me to go do it at the moment. I care more about my infantry command and stuff than I do about the cavalry. Alright, let's create some units. What do we have left? Not a lot of anything good. Could buy some more MJNGs, but I think these new units are just going to be more Springfield units. They'll perform well enough. Because these units are mostly just going to be coming in from the flank, and honestly, I will probably just be using melee to push units out if I get in a situation like that. And for that, the high damage value on the 1842 is perfect. So, they'll come in, they'll fire a little bit when they can, but if they really get stuck, then I will just charge them in, and they'll do great there. Because they're going up against Harper's Ferries with a melee value of 58. So when these units hit even a larger, more experienced unit, they will generally wreck them. Do we have any more artillery we want to deploy? Could put out some of these. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and buy this stuff. So I'm gonna take that and those. So I could pick up more of this, but I do actually want to keep some of my reputation because some of the rewards in the next battle are pretty good. I think that's when you could finally get some 14-pound James and some Whitworths, the Whitworth artillery unit. And it's the only time in the campaign you can get them. And then there's a pretty expensive buy for a bunch of rifles. Though I actually need to do the math on there to see if it's worthwhile, because you're getting up to the point where you're getting close to what the money buy would be. Okay, let's get the perks on these guys. Officer. This is always going to be real low. Not much you can do about it. It's not a big problem either. I could probably move him around to someone.
Form
I
line.
could move him up here. Actually, let's do this. Gives him a few more points. And I guess worth noting, most of this division, or most of this corps is really only there to mop up. You can honestly win this battle with a single corps. Um, you set up in the woods, if you take out the enemy artillery as it comes in, and it is rather convenient to do so in a lot of cases, and manage charges well, you can just blow them apart in the open, and this corps will do 90% of the fighting for you. But if you bring a second one in, then you can flank the entire position, and you can get all or close to all of them, depending on how things go. So might as well. Just free experience for most of these. We'll take fairly low casualties one way, or well, we should take fairly low casualties one way or the other. Oh, got a couple of majors here. Do some swapping. So you're brand new though.
Yes, sir.
I think we're doing all right on money. Oh, we don't have another lieutenant colonel. Whatever, just buy another one. That's actually almost fine. Sure, we'll just put a really good captain in command. Good enough. Great. Then we need 2 filler units here. I don't think I'm going to worry about getting these guys a star. Oh, wow, we're actually almost out of those. Well, we'll just do 1,000. These guys are just here to get the officer's experience and to bring in the extra supply wagon. Actually, let's max this out. I don't think we can quite get away with it because we still need to... Let's just double check. Not going to buy anything there. Not going to buy those. Don't need to buy these. Got those. Don't need any more officers. Actually, that's not entirely accurate. So, because there are multiple days, you do have the potential for officers to get killed. So let's... I'm going to buy up a couple just in case. Wait a minute, you lost your star. Okay, I have to do some more swapping here.
Sir, yes, sir. Form line.
You'll do.
Yes, sir.
these guys are a little bit of a question. So, could do veterans. They're pretty expensive. Drops the efficiency, the stamina a little bit, and it drops us in melee. The other question is, do I really want to keep these guys on the sawed-offs anymore? The sawed-offs are kind of nice because they have a little bit longer range. They do good damage. But the problem is you basically bring them in and you kind of want to just charge with these things, and the melee value is not great. But charging them in also means you take more casualties, so... Alright, the Remington has 91 melee for some reason. I have no idea why. It doesn't make any sense, but... Do I have Remingtons on anyone? Probably should just switch these guys out. Because I have to buy some, and I don't really want to use the...
Yes, sir.
We'll keep them on shotguns for a little bit longer, but I think we're going to lose them soon. I'll buy a few... I think we're going to keep these guys at 300. Alright, we're just about out of money.
Sir, yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Good enough. Okay, so we've got about 29,000 soldiers. I guess 31. I think that's what we're going to go in with. Because, let's see, double check supply. Yep, got supply. Got this little extra. I could buy something or other with it. I'm not going to worry about it. So, let's see what we're up against. So, only about 10,000 on the first day. Oh, that's what I forgot to do. That extra cavalry unit. Let's see if I can still make that work now that I spent all my money. I'm going to have to dip into supply slightly to do that. But we already bought some officers. We give them smiths. They're not great, but it's not worth. I don't want to spend the money. Well, I don't have the money without dipping into supply to get those. Okay, so we're going to need a little bit. Debating how many to do. I think I'm going to do 400 just because this unit has a very high probability of wandering directly into an infantry unit if I'm not careful. So having some extra numbers gives it a higher chance of making it out of the battle intact. By intact, I mean existing. These are kind of sacrificial bait, but... And we're going to give them speed, because while the accuracy from this would be nice, we want these to run around and grab stuff, basically. So, okay. Let's take a look at this again. So we're bringing about, let's see, 37,000, 117 guns. Now this is just the first day's numbers, so it doesn't tell us a whole lot. I want to say on the second day, based on some tests I was doing, I think we're going to be facing around 54,000. So this should be entirely doable. And I think we get okay numbers here. This went up a little high because of these, because of this double troop reinforcement, but not a problem. Okay, I think we're set up to go on second bull run, so I will be back soon with that.